Daniel. While he's famous to most of the world as that mixed-up Latin fella, Jose Jimenez, out here in Hollywood, we know him as the prolific writer, producer of the Milton Berle Show, and the raconteur, Bill Damon. Oh, Bill.
Thank you, Bing. So good to be back here at the Hollywood Palace. The subject for tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is scenes from the childhood. We're doing scenes from the childhood this evening for two very good reasons. One, because most of you have had a childhood. And second, because I have a record out on the subject. So let's get right to it. The first scene comes from the childhood of Audrey Hepburn. Mrs. Hepburn is speaking to her little child, Audrey. Eat, darling, eat. The next scene comes from the childhood of the great rocket missile expert, Dr. Werner von Braun. Mrs. von Braun speaks to little Werner. Werner von Braun, you are a naughty boy. Do you know that you missed school 3 times this week? Yeah, Mama, but only by a couple 100 yards. Next scene comes from the childhood of Sammy Davis, Jr. Teacher walks into the class, says, today, students, when I call on you, I want you to stand up and say what you're going to be when you grow up. Let's start with you, little Sammy Davis, Jr.
When I grow up, I'm going to be a singer, and I'm going to be a dancer, and I'm going to hang around with Frank Sinatra, and I'm going to hang around with Peter Lawford, and I'm going to hang around with Dean Martin, and I'm going to marry a Swedish girl, and I'm going to turn Jewish.
Sammy, sit down. When you're ready to talk sense, we'll come back to you. We close our scenes of the childhood with a political one, the scenes of the childhood of Senator Everett Dirksen. Mrs. Dirksen has just found out that little Everett has been skipping school. Everett, come here. Everett, the truant officer, has been here and says that you have been truant from school 3 days this week. Now, how do you explain that?
Most honorable mother, I would like to state on this most august occasion that the reason that I have been truant from that great and honorable educational institution is that I have this lousy sore throat.
Hey, Bill, tell me something now. Didn't you bring Jose with you?
Oh, I'll get Jose! Did you want to see me, Mr. Crosby?
Yes, I did. Jose, there you are.
Thank you, my father.
We're eager to hear. What have you been doing lately?
Well, I've been working with the CIA.
Oh, you mean the Central Intelligence Agency?
Yes.
Oh, that's very interesting. Let me ask you a few pertinent questions.
All right, and I'll try to give you a few permanent answers.
I understand that when you're a spy, you have to use very tricky devices.
You probably understand when you're a spy, you use the very tricky devices. The most tricky device uses very tiny miniature cameras.
Oh.
You see that tooth there?
Yeah.
That is not a tooth.
No?
It is a very tiny miniature camera.
Oh. How does it work?
You press my nose.
Oh. And that'll take the picture?
No, I just like people to press my nose. I think I love you.
I've heard and I've read that when they catch a spy, they do terrible things to them to get them to give out information. Is this true?
Well, you know, when they capture the spy, they do terrible things
Yeah.
to get out the information. You
What
know?
they do?
One time they caught me, you know, and they hit me on the head, then they hit me on the shoulder and a bony paw. It could really hurt. And they hit me all over the place.
Mm-hmm. But did you talk?
No, I was too busy screaming. I gave the name, rank, and serial number of every man, woman, child in the United States Army, where they were living, how many bullets they had. I'm the only one that ever confessed before being sent overseas.
But who would you say now was the greatest spy in history?
The greatest spy in history was Lawrence Welk.
Lawrence? I didn't know Lawrence Welk was a spy.
See how great he is?
Well, now, Jose, before you leave the rostrum,
I don't have to go to the rostrum.
I want to ask you something, though, before you go. Of all the spies...
That was a strange question to ask.
Of all the spies now, all throughout history, where do you think you rank?
Where I rank of all the spies?
Yeah.
I probably like number 3.
Number 3?
Yeah.
Well, who were the other 2?
Well, first would be Benjamin Franklin. Second would be George Washington.
Oh, wait a minute, time.
Then would come me.
No, Jose. Benjamin Franklin, George Washington, they were not spies.
I'm number 1.
The heart